here we are. This is Sex Love Psychedelics, and I'm your host, Dr. Kat, bringing you psychosexual conversations that will leave you intellectually turned on and hungry for more. When I first came across the Wheel of Consent, it was the language that I think so many of us have been waiting for, we've been looking for, especially when it comes to the sex positive play community, to explain a concept like consent, because it's more than just this yes, no, give, take, like dynamics. It's nuanced and it's embodied. It's not an intellectual concept. Hopefully it's embodied. So it's like we're experiencing touch from somebody or giving some touch to somebody, and it doesn't quite feel right, or it's not landing, or a lot of emotions come up. And so as we dive into that concept, maybe we start here with letting our audience know what it is that we mean by the Wheel of Consent. Like, what is this concept that you gifted to the world?
Thank you. That's a great place to start, or the rest of the conversation may not make any sense.
Right. Bring into what we're talking about.
So the Wheel of Consent is a practice, just like yoga or something else is a practice, which means that you come back to it over time and experience whatever you experience there. And each time will probably be a little different. And it's a practice for 2 or more people in taking apart receiving and giving. You take apart so that you do one at a time. It's either your turn to receive whatever you want, respecting the other person's boundaries, of course. And it's all about you. And then the timer goes off and you take turns. It's the other person's turn. And so now you are the giver and you have taken what you want, put it on the shelf within your limits, of course, put on the shelf, and then you're giving them what they want. And so it's really simple. It's a practice of taking turns in a particular way. So when you take receiving and giving apart, you're only doing one of them at a time. Oh shit. You find out, this is what receiving is when I'm not trying to give back something at the same time. When I'm not trying to dilute it with trying to give something at the same time, or pretending that I actually can. So each experience, the receiving and the giving, becomes much more clear of like, this is what this is. No wonder it feels vulnerable to me, or no wonder it's so great, or this is what giving is. This is very humbling, or this is challenging, or this is very satisfying. So the first thing that happens is you learn what they are, and that can kind of shake you up a little bit. Because if you're playing the game, if you're playing the practice with a person who's also a sexual partner, chances are, for a lot of people anyway, you kind of want to try to be in the middle where we're both giving and they're both receiving and we're both doing, and it gets all jumbly and you can't really tell what's what. And that's fine. You can do that all you want. And during the practice of the Wheel of Consent, you're taking them apart one at a time. And that's what it's about. And so it's about the ahas that come from that. And in particular, the giving and receiving takes a couple of particular forms. One is that I am doing to you what you want, scratch your back or whatever it is that you've asked for, and it's for you. And another one of the turns, I'm doing to you, but it's what I want. Essentially, I'm feeling you up in the way that I want, if you agree to it. And again, there's a conversation happening so that it's not just grabbing whatever I want. There's a conversation. May I play with your hair? May I feel your back? And so forth. So I'm either doing what you want or I'm doing what I want. And there's a very big difference between those two. And likewise, you're doing to me what I want, maybe I want you to scratch my head or rub my shoulders or whatever. And then you're doing to me what you want. Now it's your turn to feel me up or play with me in some way that you want, that's about your enjoyment, not about mine.
Mm-hmm.
And that, so those are the two different dynamics that show up as you play it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And even as you're talking here, I'm hearing some of these words that you're expressing, and I can imagine listeners are like having physical reactions to
Mm-hmm.
words like take or
Mm-hmm.
receive or what they
Mm-hmm.
want and my stuff aside. So, as simple as you describe it here,
Yes,
it's
it's not, it's really simple. It's not necessarily easy. It
mm-hmm.
can be very challenging. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But so much we have wrapped up in these conditioning or these
Yeah.
meaning, these
Yeah.
interpretations of taking or giving
Mm-hmm.
or receiving and that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Words carry all kinds of boogaboo meanings for us. But I want to give you people a place to start with,
Mm-hmm.
and that's called a 3-minute game, which is what the Wheel of Consent was based on. And it's two people. You take turns asking each other two questions in any order that you want. The two questions are, what do you want me to do to you for 3 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's called a 3-minute game. Well, if you ask me that, I can think of some fun things that I might like you to do to me for 3 minutes. And so we negotiate and do that for 3 minutes. And then so it's the first question. The second question is, what do you want to do to me for 3 minutes? And that's the one that is harder for most people because we sort of have doing and giving welded together in our heads. Like, okay, if I'm touching you, then by definition, it's supposed to be for you the way you want it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great way to go, but it's not the only way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Another way is I'm touching you, doing to you, but it's the way I want. It's for my enjoyment. Holy shit. That's where it's like, I can't do that. That's not right. That's, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that one turns out to be challenging for most people. And
Yeah.
so it does take a little bit of care and attention if you really want to get the goods out of it. If you really want to get the most out of it, it does take some care and attention. Or you can just play it as a game and not worry about it. That's also fine too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was fun. Thanks for tuning in, lovers. And if you want to experience more ecstasy and sexual liberation, head over to sexlovepsychedelics.com and learn about how you can join me for any one of my online or live events. And while you're there, grab my free guide on sex and psychedelics. Remember, this podcast is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please contact your healthcare provider and local law before pursuing any of the products or psychedelics discussed. And one final note here. I make this show specifically for you. If you're loving the show, then be sure to leave me a review in iTunes or Spotify to let me know. Happy to be here and happy to serve. I'll see you next time on Sex Love Psychedelics.